Appointed Director of Coaching for Aisling Annacotty, Mike Kerley. Mike, thanks for joining us this evening. I suppose, Mike, it's unknown to many people the role of Director of Coaching at a junior club in Limerick. Not many people know what the role entails. Can you probably explain it to us a bit more, what the role will entail for you?
I think the main focus of the role is to develop all the coaches that are here. At the moment we have over 100 coaches in the club, and trying to get them on the coaching pathway and get them on the FAI coaching courses as much as possible, and to be there as a support and trying to develop as many coaches, because the better the coaches that we have here, obviously that will filter through to better players, hopefully.
Yeah, and I understand, Mike, as well, it's a full-time role for yourself, so a big commitment from both yourself and the club going forward.
Definitely, there's financial investment put into coaching at all levels, and I think it's a sign for the club that where they want to go and what they want to do in the future. And this is the first step that they're going to do, and hopefully we have a lot more young coaches coming through the club as well.
Yeah, it's a great time, Mike, as well, to be coming into Aisling Annacotty. There's a massive population at schoolboy level, participation at schoolboy level. Obviously, the junior teams have started to improve in the last few years as well, particularly the junior A team. In another sense, it's also going to be a huge challenge for you with the vast amount of teams and coaches that you will be dealing with.
Yes, but there's a lot of good talent around, and we're not just going to be focused on elite players. There's a lot of players of different abilities, both boys and girls, and we want to focus on all abilities within the club and try to improve every player that we have. So we'll be looking at trying to bring a lot of coaches, a lot of women coaches into the club. That's another area that we'll try to develop as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned the women's football here. I actually didn't realise until talking to Paul and Jim this evening how vast amount of teams at women's and underage at girls level that the club have as well. So as you said, it's going to be important maybe to integrate women's coaches in to tie in with that as well.
Definitely, I think women in sport in general and in coaching are underrepresented, and the more we can focus on bringing more women into the club as coaches, you definitely will see that filter through to bringing more young girls into the club as well.
Yeah, on top of everything, you've got schoolboy and you've got junior. Will you be working all across the board with both junior and schoolboy teams, coaches, we'll say?
Yeah, I'll be working with every coach that's in the club, and my main focus is to be there as a support and to make sure that coach education, we build on that, and is to improve the coaches that we have. I can't do everything, so the more coaches that we can improve, the better all around the club.
Yeah, not a lot of people will know, Mike, but if you were here watching Annacotty games, you would know that you were always involved in the last few years in the background with the FAI semi-final run, the Munster Junior Success. You were in the background of that. Does it help the fact that you do know to a certain extent the running of the club and the people behind the running of the club as well?
Well, there's been a lot of good work going on in the club, be it on the committee side or even on the coaches side. And what we want to try and do is build on the work that's previously gone beforehand and look at what we can improve and hopefully help those coaches along the way.
Yeah, it's obviously insightful this evening because you have your director of coaching, which you said will be a support for coaches, and obviously then you have Paul Burke, who'll be director of football, who's on more about the strategies and the teams. Will you two obviously be working close together now, Mike, as well going forward?
Yes, but we both have separate roles, but we are both roles will overlap a lot. But my main focus is to work on the coaching side and to develop that side here.
Yeah, you had Dara Costello, Mike, went on to Burnley under 23s recently. He's making great strides. John Ryan as well as another one that Paul Burke mentioned to me. With this innovative appointment, we'll say, with yourself as director of coaching and the likes of a director of football at a junior club, which is, let's be honest, unheard of, we'll say, in that professional approach, is that aimed at having more players maybe representing at international level in schoolboy and schoolgirl, and even maybe in the future hopefully to senior level, because it has been very sparse for a city the size of Limerick, our representation in the last 20-30 years at all levels.
Yeah, look, I think it's great if we get players to represent our country, to go on and represent in a professional level, or even if it's in England or here in the National League. But one of our main focus is to represent everybody. We have over 900 kids here, and what we want to try and do is that every kid that comes here, that they can reach their potential. And it's not all about elite players, it's all about, you know, those kids that come here for recreation reasons. So we have to look after those kids as well.
Yeah, Mike, you had a distinguished career. This is more on a personal level. I was speaking to Noel and Jason O'Connor on a weekly podcast that we do, and they obviously passed on their congratulations for you in your appointment, and delighted to see you back in the role. You had time, obviously, with Limerick FC, Waterford and Athlone in the League of Ireland. Firstly, I suppose, what was the experience like as a whole for you, and is there any chance in the future that you may go back into that role?
I think League of Ireland it's a great experience for any young player or any young coach who wants to get into that. It gives you an insight on how to run a club, maybe on a professional level. In the future, who knows what will happen. My main focus at the moment is what happens here at Aisling Annacotty and developing all players that we have here.